The problem with loot boxes. Now, I can already imagine the faces that some of you are getting. In fact, I'm willing to bet that half of our viewers will start bashing EA or any other company, while the other half will rush to its defense, and some of you are just tired of hearing about loot boxes. Now, I know that this may be an exercise in futility, but please just give me 5 minutes of your time and hear me out. This is specifically for those of you that say that nobody is forcing anybody to buy loot boxes and that it's their choice alone. Now, I hear you and I understand where you come from. After all, shouldn't people take responsibility for their own actions? Why does the game industry have to go and play nanny with the players? Buying loot boxes is a choice, or is it? Here's the thing, we don't have as much choice as we think we do, and that is because of one simple truth that I believe we can all agree on. We're different. What that means is that different people have different predispositions to different behaviors. This is backed by decades of research into human behavior. This extends to how easily we fall into addiction. So let me give you a simple example. One person can drink a couple of glasses of whiskey in one party and never drink another drop of alcohol the rest of the year, while another only needs one single sip of beer to start drinking 6 cans every day. Now, maybe you're one of the lucky ones who has enough self-control to decide when to stop, or perhaps you don't feel the urge at all. And if that's the case, I'm happy for you. But I would like to ask you to understand that a lot of people are not like that. For some people, the compulsion is just too strong. Willpower be damned. What I'm trying to say is that our ability to control ourselves does not depend on willpower alone. Other factors influence our reaction, like education, environment, genetics, etc. Bottom line, circumstances matter. Context matters. As such, some people are more susceptible than others to falling in addiction, and let me assure you that they have very little to say in the matter. I know that this fact is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Nobody wants to believe that our own behavior doesn't depend 100% on us, but that's the truth. Now, how does this affect loot boxes? The answer is they can be just as addictive as anything else. If you don't believe me, just try to remember what you feel when you open a loot box. You don't know what's in there, but that's precisely what makes it so attractive, doesn't it? Remember the rush of excitement just before you opened it? It felt good, right? Perhaps so good that you just wanted to open one more. You didn't win the prize you wanted this time, but there's always next time, or the next after that. Some people become addicted to that rush for the reasons explained before. And you know which sector of the population has very poor impulse control? Kids and teenagers. And guess which ones are the main targets of game companies' marketing campaigns? That's right, it's done on purpose. The whole loot box system is carefully designed to exploit the predisposition that some people have to addictive behavior. Think about how it usually works. First, they tempt you with several things you want that are either impossible to get without loot boxes, or they're very difficult to unlock without purchasing a loot box. Sometimes they even tie the progress of your character to the loot box to push you even more to buy them. Then the game gives you one loot box, or several, for free, just to try it. Then you decide to buy just one because 99 cents for a loot box is not much, so what's the damage? Except it's never just one with addicts. It's the same working principle as slot machines, which is what many game companies are trying to turn games into. Nothing more than poorly cobbled together experiences that give you cheap thrills so you keep pouring money in. If we don't stop this trend, future games will have gameplay designed to push you into buying loot boxes, with having fun being a secondary concern. The question is then, what can we do? Are loot boxes inherently evil and should be banned in all games? To be perfectly honest, I put most of the blame on greedy and unscrupulous game companies and their underhanded strategies. They are the ones exploiting vulnerable gamers. I don't mind paying a couple of extra dollars to a game company if it helps them make the game better, but there are conditions. First of all, be honest with the probability of each drop. Show us exactly how many loot boxes we need to buy before we can get what it is that we want. Second, put a failsafe for kids and other vulnerable gamers in case too much money is being expended. Maybe send them a warning or block the purchases. In other words, change the system so it considers those that are at risk. I don't think that's really too much to ask. I hope I managed to open your perspective and why the future of loot boxes needs to be addressed. So tell us in the comments if you agree or disagree, and I hope to see you next time here at Game Domain.